When people doubt you when they say you can't, it's not their words that define you, but how you respond to them. It's not the obstacles placed in front of you that determine your success, but the effort you put into overcoming them. You've got something within you that no one can touch: your determination, your will, your strength. And you must prove everyone wrong, whoever said you weren't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. You can, and you will. All of us face opposition in life. It doesn't matter if it comes from friends, family, colleagues, or strangers. It's there. And sometimes it feels like the world is rooting for your failure. But here's the thing: what they think, what they say, none of that matters. What truly matters is what you believe about yourself. If you believe you are worthy, capable, and determined, nothing can stop you. Not their words, not their doubts, not even your own fears. Let me tell you something powerful: no one else knows what you are truly capable of. They only see the surface, they see what you've shown them so far. But deep inside you, there is so much more. Potential that is waiting to be realized, strength that you haven't even tapped into yet, and drive that is burning within you, even if you don't always feel it. When people doubt you, when they say you'll never make it, you have two choices. You can let their words sink into your mind, or you can use those very words as fuel to propel yourself forward. Every no, every criticism, every rejection, let that push you harder. Let it make you more focused, more determined. Let their doubt become your motivation. It's not about proving anything to them, though. It's about proving something to yourself. You need to know, deep down, that you are capable of more than they can imagine. The greatest victories are the ones that come from within, when you rise above the noise and stand tall, knowing that you've done what others thought you couldn't. There will be times when you feel like giving up, times when the doubts of others start to echo in your own mind. That's when you need to remind yourself who you are. You are someone who refuses to quit, someone who refuses to quit, someone who refuses to settle for less than what you are capable of. You are someone who has a purpose, who has a goal, and who will not stop until you've achieved it. Look around at those who have achieved great things in life. They weren't always supported, they weren't always encouraged. In fact, many of them faced fierce opposition, criticism, and doubt, but they kept moving forward. They kept pushing, working, striving, and eventually they proved everyone wrong, not because they needed to show off, but because they believed in themselves enough to keep going when others didn't. You can do that too. You can push past the doubt, the criticism, the rejection. You can rise above it all. But it won't happen if you listen to the voices that say you can't. It will only happen when you listen to the voice inside of you that says you can. And here's the secret: the people who doubt you, they're often projecting their own fears, their own insecurities. They can't see themselves succeeding, so they project that onto you. They can't imagine doing what you're doing, so they assume you can't either. But their limitations are not your limitations. Their fears are not your fears. Their doubts are not your doubts. You have to be stronger than that. You have to rise above their words and their opinions. You have to be laser-focused on your goal and refuse to let anything or anyone stand in your way. This is your life. These are your dreams. You are the one in control, and no one else gets to decide what you can or cannot do. When they say you won't make it, let that push you harder. When they say you're not good enough, let that drive you to be better. When they tell you to give up, use that as fuel to keep going. You are stronger than they think. You are more capable than they realize. And the only opinion that matters is your own. Think about the times you've already overcome challenges. Think about the moments when you've proved yourself wrong, when you've accomplished something you didn't think you could. That same strength is within you now. It's always been there, and it always will be. But you have to choose to tap into it. You have to decide that you're not going to let anything stop you, not fear, not doubt, and certainly not the opinions of others. People will always talk. They will always have something to say. But their words are just noise. They don't define you. They don't determine your future. You do. You are the one in control of your destiny. You are the one who gets to decide what you're capable of and what you're willing to do to achieve your goals. Success is not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you can rise above the challenges, that you can push through the pain, that you can achieve what you set out to do. Success is about perseverance, determination, and grit. It's about waking up every day ready to face whatever comes your way, knowing that nothing can stop you because you refuse to stop yourself. They may laugh. They may criticize. They may doubt. But that's their problem, not yours. You don't have to live by their standards. You don't have to play by their rules. You are playing your own game, And in this game, you set the rules. You decide what success looks like. You decide how far you're willing to go. And if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to push yourself beyond what you thought was possible, you will succeed. People who tell you that you can't are often the ones who gave up on their own dreams. They see you trying, and it reminds them of their own failures, so they want to bring you down to their level. Don't let them. You don't belong down there with them. You belong up there at the top with the ones who never gave up, the ones who kept going, the ones who proved everyone wrong. It won't be easy. There will be days when you want to quit. There will be times when you feel like the world is against you. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the times when you have to dig deep and find the strength to keep going. Those are the moments that separate those who succeed from those who don't. Success is not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who are easily discouraged. It's for the ones who are willing to fight day in and day out, no matter how hard it gets. It's for the ones who are willing to keep going, even when everyone else has given up. It's for the ones who are willing to prove everyone wrong. So when they say you can't, remember that they don't know you. They don't know what you're capable of. They don't know the fire that burns within you. They don't know your dreams, your goals, or your vision. Only you know that. Only you can see what's possible for you. And when you achieve it, when you reach the top, they'll be the ones standing on the sidelines wondering how you did it. They'll be the ones saying they always knew you could, when just a moment ago they were saying you couldn't. But by then it won't matter, because you won't be doing it for them. You'll be doing it for you, to prove to yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. Don't let anyone's doubts get in the way of your dreams. You are in control of your life, your destiny, your future. And you have the power to prove everyone wrong. Keep pushing, keep striving, keep working. And one day you'll look back and you'll see how far you've come. You'll realize that the opinions of others were never important. What mattered was your belief in yourself. What mattered was your refusal to give up, your refusal to settle, your refusal to be anything less than what you are capable of being. So when they doubt you, when they say you can't, smile. Because deep down you know the truth. You know that you can and you will. And one day you'll look back and you'll be proud of yourself for never giving in to their doubts. You'll be proud of yourself for proving everyone wrong. This is your life. This is your moment. You are stronger than you think, more capable than you realize, and more determined than they can ever understand. Prove it to yourself. Keep going. Keep fighting. And prove everyone wrong. When you reach that point where you're exhausted, when you're questioning everything, remember that's when the real progress begins. That's when most people turn back, throw in the towel, and decide that the critics were right. But you are not most people. You are built to endure. You are built to rise above. The hardest moments, the moments that test your limits, are the moments that forge your strength. Every step you take forward is a step closer to victory, and every obstacle is just a stepping stone toward your success. People may look at you now and judge you based on where you are today, but they have no idea where you're headed. They don't see the long nights, the sacrifices, the hours of work and planning. They only see what's visible on the surface, but that's just a fraction of the story. The real work happens when no one's watching, when no one's there to cheer you on. It happens in silence, in struggle, and in solitude. But that's where you're sharpening your skills. That's where you're building the resilience that will carry you forward when others fall behind. Their doubts, their words, they can't touch you unless you let them. Words are just air. They have no real power unless you allow them into your mind and heart. Don't waste your energy worrying about what others think. You've got too much ahead of you to be dragged down by their negativity. Use that energy to fuel your drive. Turn their disbelief into a reason to work even harder. People who succeed, who truly achieve greatness, don't do so because it was easy or because everyone believed in them from the start. They succeed because they were relentless. They succeed because they refused to let failure define them. And they succeed because they learned to turn doubt into determination. The more people told them they couldn't, the harder they worked to prove that they could. You see, people are afraid of greatness, not just for themselves, but for others. When they see someone trying to do something extraordinary, something that pushes beyond the ordinary boundaries, it scares them. It makes them uncomfortable. Because if you can do it, that means they could have too. If you succeed, it forces them to confront their own choices, their own fears, and their own lack of effort. And that's a hard thing for many people to face. So instead of encouraging you, they try to hold you back. Not because they truly believe you're incapable, but because they're afraid of what your success says about them. But that's not your problem. You're not here to make anyone else comfortable. You're not here to live a small life just to fit in with their expectations. You're here to live your life, to chase your dreams, to push yourself as far as you can go. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, so be it. Your job is not to shrink yourself to make others feel better. Your job is to grow, to expand, to become everything you are meant to be. There's a reason why you have those dreams, why you feel that pull towards something bigger. It's because you are capable of achieving it. You wouldn't have that vision if it wasn't possible. The very fact that you can see it, that you can feel it in your bones, is proof that it's within your reach. But no one else can see that vision as clearly as you can. No one else feels that fire the way you do. So when they tell you it's impossible, it's not because they know something you don't. It's because they can't see what you see. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to waste your time trying to get everyone on board with your dreams. Your path is your own, and as long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters. Let your results speak for themselves. Let your actions do the talking. Success doesn't need to be announced. It will shine so brightly that no one will be able to ignore it. And when that moment comes, when you've achieved what they said you couldn't, there will be no need for words. The proof will be right there for everyone to see. But don't wait for that moment to feel validated. Don't wait for others to give you permission to believe in yourself. Start right now. Believe in yourself more than anyone else ever could. Trust in your own ability, your own potential. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what others believe. It's about what you believe. And if you believe that you can achieve greatness, if you believe that you are capable of more than anyone else can see, then you've already won half the battle. The road ahead won't be easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. There will be setbacks. There will be times when you feel like you're moving backwards instead of forwards. There will be moments when you question whether it's all worth it. But in those moments, remember why you started. Remember that the hardest paths often lead to the most beautiful destinations. And remember that every challenge you face is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the success that lies ahead. The people who doubt you now will be the same ones who ask you how you did it later. The people who laugh at your dreams today will be the ones who stand in awe of your achievements tomorrow. But by the time that happens, their opinions won't matter to you anymore. Because you won't be doing it for them. You'll be doing it for yourself. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're capable. You already know that you are. And that's all that matters. Prove it to yourself every day by showing up, by doing the work, by refusing to quit when it gets tough. And one day you'll look back and realize that the doubts, the criticism, the negativity, they were all just noise. You were always stronger than that. You were always capable of rising above. So keep going. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep proving everyone wrong, not because you need to, but because you want to. Because deep down you know that you are capable of greatness. And nothing, not the doubts of others, not the challenges you face, can stop you from achieving it. Remember, the greatest revenge against doubt and negativity is success. Let your life be the proof that anything is possible when you believe in yourself. Let your actions speak louder than their words. And when you reach your goals, when you stand at the top, you'll know that you didn't just prove them wrong, you proved yourself right. This is your time. This is your life. You are in control. So take that doubt, take those criticisms, and turn them into the fuel that drives you forward. You have the power to achieve more than anyone ever thought possible. And when you do, you'll know that every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt was worth it. Because you didn't just rise above, you soared. And in the end, that's what proving everyone wrong is all about. And when you soar, when you break through every limit they tried to place on you, you'll realize something important. It was never about them. It was always about you. About what you were willing to endure, how far you were willing to go, and how fiercely you believed in yourself when others couldn't. In that moment of victory, you'll look back and see that their doubts were just a small part of the story, a minor detail in a much larger picture. Because the real story is the one you wrote with your own hands, the one built on your sweat, your persistence, and your refusal to settle for anything less than what you knew was possible. Let's talk about persistence for a moment. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's not the part that gets celebrated in public. Persistence is waking up day after day, knowing that it's going to be hard, knowing that the progress will be slow and doing it anyway. It's pushing forward when you're tired, when you've failed more times than you care to count, and when the voice of doubt, both from others and from within yourself, is louder than ever. But this is the key: the ones who succeed are the ones who keep going. They don't stop when it gets hard. They don't stop when people tell them they're crazy for continuing. They don't stop when it feels like they've hit a wall. They keep going, and because of that, they break through. You see, most people give up too soon. They stop just before they would have succeeded. They listen to the voices of doubt just a little too closely, and they let those words convince them that maybe it's not meant to be. But that's the moment when you have to dig deeper. When the doubts are loudest, when the obstacles are highest, that's when you need to push the hardest. Because on the other side of that struggle is everything you've been working for. It's in the moments when you want to quit the most that you have to fight the hardest. Those are the moments that test your character. It's easy to keep going when everything is going well, when people are cheering you on, when the path ahead seems clear. But true strength is shown in those dark moments when you feel alone, when you feel like the world is against you, and you decide to keep moving anyway. When you do this, when you persist despite everything, something remarkable happens. You start to separate yourself from the crowd. You begin to rise above the noise, the doubts, the criticism. You become someone who doesn't just dream, but someone who does. You become someone who doesn't just talk about what they're going to do, but someone who takes action, who follows through, who makes things happen. And that is rare. That is what sets successful people apart. Not talent, not luck, but persistence. The ability to keep going when everyone else has stopped. The willingness to do the hard work, the boring work, the thankless work, long after everyone else has given up. This is what it takes to succeed, to prove everyone wrong. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to have all the answers right now. What you need is the ability to outlast the doubts, the fears, and the challenges. What you need is the courage to keep going, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. The truth is, the people who doubt you, the people who criticize, are often the ones who stop trying. They're the ones who let their own fear of failure keep them from pushing forward. They didn't have the persistence to keep going when it got tough, and instead of acknowledging that, they project their limitations onto you. But you are not them. You are not bound by their fears, their doubts, or their failures. You are only bound by what you believe about yourself. And if you believe that you can achieve something great, if you believe that you have the power to rise above the doubts, then nothing can stop you. Not the critics, not the obstacles, not the failures you will inevitably face along the way. Because here's another truth: failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every time you fail, you learn something new. Every time you stumble, you become stronger. The path to success is paved with failures, with mistakes, with setbacks. But each one brings you closer to where you want to be, as long as you keep going. That's why persistence is so important. Because you will fail. You will make mistakes. You will face challenges that seem insurmountable. But if you keep going, if you keep pushing through, you will eventually find success. And when you do, you'll realize that every failure, every setback, every doubt was necessary. They were all part of the process, all part of what made you stronger, smarter, and more determined. So don't fear failure. Don't let the fear of making mistakes hold you back. Embrace the challenges, embrace the setbacks, and use them to fuel your growth. Let them make you better, not bitter. Let them be the reason you push harder, not the reason you give up. Because every time you get back up after falling, you are proving to yourself that you are stronger than anything that tries to hold you down. When people doubt you, when they say you'll never make it, they're not telling you the truth about your potential. They're only revealing the limits of their own. They're showing you the boundaries they've placed on themselves, and they're trying to impose those boundaries on you. But you don't have to accept them. You can choose to break free, to push past those limits, to redefine what's possible. You are not defined by the opinions of others. You are defined by the actions you take, by the choices you make, by the persistence you show in the face of adversity. You are defined by your refusal to quit, by your decision to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. So when they doubt you, thank them. Thank them for giving you the fuel you need to keep going. Thank them for underestimating you, because that will make your success all the sweeter. Thank them for providing you with the motivation to push harder, to work smarter, and to prove once and for all that you are capable of achieving everything you've set out to do. Success is not something that happens overnight. It's not something that is handed to you. It's something you earn through hard work, through persistence, and through the unwavering belief in yourself. It's something that comes from refusing to give up, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many people doubt you. And when you finally achieve it, when you stand at the top and look back at everything you've overcome, you'll realize that the doubts and criticisms didn't matter. What mattered was your belief in yourself, your willingness to keep going, and your refusal to let anyone else define what you were capable of. You are capable of greatness. You are capable of achieving more than you ever thought possible. But it won't come easy, and it won't come without a fight. You will have to work for it. You will have to push yourself harder than you've ever pushed before, and you will have to believe in yourself more than anyone else ever will. But if you do that, if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, you will succeed. And when you do, you'll know that it wasn't the opinions of others that got you there. It was your own persistence, your own determination, your own belief in yourself. The world is full of people who will tell you that you can't, but the most important voice is the one inside of you, the one that says you can. Listen to that voice, trust it, and let it guide you toward your goals. You have the power to achieve greatness, and no one, not the doubters, not the critics, not the failures, can take that away from you. So rise above. Prove them wrong, and in doing so, prove to yourself that you are capable of more than they ever imagined. When you stand at the edge of possibility, when you're staring down the path of your dreams, remember this: every person who has ever achieved something remarkable was once in your shoes. They faced the same doubts, the same fears, the same moments of uncertainty. But what set them apart was not that they were smarter or luckier than anyone else. What set them apart was their ability to keep moving forward when the world was telling them to stop. That same ability, that same resilience is within you. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about taking the moment you have and making it perfect through effort, persistence, and belief. People might try to tell you that you're not ready, that you don't have what it takes, that it's not your time yet. But the truth is, no one else can tell you when it's your time. That's for you to decide. Your time is when you say it is, when you step up and take control of your destiny. There's a simple fact that many overlook: your success is inevitable if you refuse to quit. Think about that for a moment. If you keep going, if you continue to learn from every failure, if you stay committed to your goal, it's not a question of if, but when. The only thing standing between you and your success is the time and effort you're willing to put in. The more you push, the more you learn, the closer you get. Now, it won't always feel like you're making progress. There will be days, weeks, even months where it feels like you're stuck in place, like no matter how hard you try, nothing is changing. But progress is not always visible in the moment. It's like planting a seed. For the longest time you see nothing, you water it, you care for it, but it seems like nothing is happening. But then one day that seed sprouts, and before you know it, it's growing faster than you ever imagined. Your efforts are like that seed. Even when you don't see the results immediately, the work you're putting in is laying the foundation for your success. Every challenge you overcome, every doubt you push past, every failure you learn from, it's all part of the process. It's all leading you toward that moment when everything comes together, when all the hard work pays off and you break through. But to get there, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing, keep believing, keep striving. You have to trust that the work you're doing now, even when it feels small, is preparing you for something greater. And when the time comes, when you break through, you'll realize that every step was necessary. Every struggle was worth it. Every moment of doubt was a lesson in disguise, teaching you what you needed to know to reach the next level. The people who doubted you, the ones who said you couldn't do it, they didn't understand the process. They didn't see the effort, the growth, the inner strength you were building along the way. But you did. And that's what matters. You saw the bigger picture. You understood that success is not about instant results, but about consistent effort over time. When you face setbacks, when things don't go the way you planned, remember this: setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply part of the journey. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every failure is a chance to start again, but this time with more knowledge, more experience, and more determination. You might not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to let setbacks discourage you, or you can choose to let them strengthen you. You can choose to see failure as a reason to quit, or you can choose to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you frame your challenges. People who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail the most but refuse to let those failures define them. They are the ones who get knocked down but get back up every single time. They are the ones who, when faced with adversity, dig in their heels and say, "I'm not done yet." And that's who you are. You are someone who refuses to give up no matter how many times you've been knocked down. You are someone who sees every obstacle as an opportunity to prove to yourself just how strong, how capable, how resilient you are. You are someone who doesn't settle for mediocrity, who doesn't accept the limitations others try to place on you. You see, success is not just about what you achieve in the end. It's about who you become along the way. It's about the strength, the character, the resilience you build through the process. The end result is important, yes, but it's the journey that shapes you. It's the challenges that forge you into someone who can handle whatever life throws your way. And when you finally succeed, when you prove everyone wrong, you'll realize that the real victory was not in the achievement itself, but in the person you became in the process. You'll look back and see that every doubt, every setback, every moment of frustration was a stepping stone to your greatness. So when they doubt you, let them. When they say you can't, don't waste your breath arguing. Just keep going, keep working, keep moving forward. Because at the end of the day, their doubts don't matter. What matters is that you believe in yourself enough to keep going no matter what. And when you finally succeed, when you reach the top, you won't need to say a word. Your success will speak for itself. The people who doubted you, who tried to hold you back, will have nothing left to say. They'll see that you didn't just prove them wrong, you proved yourself right. But even more than that, you'll realize that the greatest satisfaction doesn't come from proving others wrong. It comes from knowing that you stayed true to yourself, that you believed in your vision when no one else did, that you had the courage to keep going when it would have been easier to give up. That's the real victory. That's the real reward. You have greatness within you. You have the power to achieve things that others can't even imagine. But it won't happen overnight, and it won't happen without effort. It will take time, persistence, and an unshakable belief in yourself. But if you keep going, if you refuse to let doubt stop you, you will get there. And when you do, you'll know that you earned it. You'll know that every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt was worth it. Because you didn't just reach your goal, you became the person you were meant to be along the way. You've come this far, and you're just getting started. That's something many people fail to see. They think they've seen your best, that they've judged your entire potential based on what you've already accomplished or perhaps what you haven't yet accomplished. But here's what they don't understand: you're not defined by your past. You're defined by what you choose to do next, by how you rise when everything seems to be working against you. There's a certain power that comes from deciding right now that no one else's opinions will hold you back. That's the moment everything changes, not because your circumstances change immediately, but because you change. You no longer live your life reacting to what others say, to their criticism, to their judgment. Instead, you move forward with confidence, knowing that your value, your worth, your capability comes from within, not from anyone else's approval or doubt. You see, proving everyone wrong isn't about seeking revenge or validation. It's not about needing to rub your success in someone's face. It's about something much deeper. It's about reclaiming your power, your belief in yourself, and living life on your own terms. When people tell you what you can or cannot do, they are basing it on their own limitations, their own fears. But you are not bound by those limitations. You are free to chart your own course, to make your own rules, and to define your own success. There will always be voices trying to tell you otherwise. Voices that say you're not ready, that you're not capable, that you're aiming too high. And the truth is, it's easy to listen to those voices, especially when the path ahead is unclear. But every person who has ever done something truly meaningful in their life has faced those same voices. They had people telling them to be more realistic, to take the safer route, to settle for less. But they didn't listen. They tuned out the noise and kept moving forward. And that's exactly what you must do. It's easy to get distracted by what other people are saying. It's easy to feel the pressure of their expectations, to feel weighed down by their doubts. But remember this: you don't have to carry the weight of their expectations. You don't have to prove anything to them. What you owe is to yourself, to that inner voice that knows what you're truly capable of, to that vision you hold deep within you. Because no one else knows what drives you. No one else knows the fire that burns within you. And that fire, that passion, that purpose is what will keep you going long after others have given up. It's what will keep you focused when the road gets tough, when the path forward isn't clear. That fire is what separates those who dream from those who actually achieve. When you look back on your life, you won't remember the people who doubted you. You won't remember the critics, the naysayers, the ones who said you couldn't do it. What you'll remember is the way you felt when you decided to keep going, the pride that came from pushing through the obstacles, the sense of accomplishment that came from knowing you never gave up. That's the thing about proving people wrong. It's not about them. It's about the journey you take to get there, the growth that happens along the way, the strength you build with every step forward. You'll realize that their doubts were never about you. They were about them, about their own fears, their own insecurities. And when you succeed, when you accomplish what you set out to do, their opinions will fade into the background because they were never truly important to begin with. The only opinion that matters is the one you have of yourself. And if you believe in yourself, if you truly believe that you are capable of achieving great things, then that's all the validation you'll ever need. Because success doesn't come from outside approval. It comes from within. It comes from the quiet determination to keep going, to keep working, to keep believing, even when no one else does. This journey you're on won't be easy. It will test you in ways you can't yet imagine. There will be days when you question everything, when you wonder if you're on the right path, if you have what it takes to make it to the other side. But in those moments, you must remind yourself why you started. You must remind yourself of the vision that's driving you forward, of the purpose that gives your life meaning. And you must keep going, no matter how hard it gets. Because every step you take is a step closer to your goal. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to become more resilient, to sharpen your skills and prove to yourself that you have what it takes. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, to those who persevere, to those who refuse to quit when things get tough. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, even when no one else is watching. It's about pushing through the discomfort, the pain, the doubt, and choosing to believe in yourself when others don't. And here's the thing, when you prove everyone wrong, you'll realize that the victory isn't in showing them they were wrong. The victory is in showing yourself that you were right all along. That you were right to believe in yourself, right to keep going, right to pursue your dreams, even when others told you to stop. You'll realize that the real battle was never against them. It was always within you. It was about overcoming your own doubts, your own fears, your own limitations. And when you do that, when you rise above your own self-imposed limits, you'll find that there's nothing you can't achieve. You are capable of more than you know. You have a strength within you that is greater than any challenge you'll face. And the more you push yourself, the more you'll discover just how powerful you really are. So when people doubt you, when they say you can't, let that fuel you. Let it remind you that their words have no power over you. Let it be the fire that drives you to work harder, to stay focused, to never give up. Because at the end of the day, the only person you need to prove anything to is yourself. You are in control of your destiny. You are the one who gets to decide what you're capable of, what you're willing to work for, and how far you'll go. And when you prove to yourself that you can rise above the doubts, the fears, the challenges, you'll realize that the journey was worth it. Not because you proved them wrong, but because you proved yourself right. This is your life, your story, your chance to create something extraordinary. Don't let anyone else tell you what's possible. Only you know what you're truly capable of. Only you can decide how far you're willing to go.